Well, hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. Right, so one of my subscribers reached out to me and offered some rank 4 null footage. So huge thank you to Elm from Next, and we got some null clips to play. Now, I haven't seen all of them in their entirety, and I actually personally know quite a little about null because I do not have a 5 or a 6 star yet on my own account, and I have done pretty much no fights at all whatsoever with null myself, but I still kind of know the basic ideas of what the champion is and what he does. And here is going to be the first fight against Winter Soldier, where he does not go for level 3, and we'll see how he gets on here. So you do like to throw your heavy attacks to build up your living abyss that you can later turn into armor breaks and get more damage. So that is one of the things about null. In general, he is likely the most debuffiest champion in the game, I would probably say, because he can maintain huge amounts of debuffs on the opponent for pretty much the entire fight. And as evident here, we have gotten to 38 living abyss. Now they have turned all into armor breaks, and now he's going for level 2. And that level 2, well, did its thing for now, and we can see 35 armor breaks. We can see decent numbers coming out of null, but this is also with relatively few, because you might think 32 armor breaks is a lot, and 32 armor breaks is a lot for most champions, but null's armor breaks, he can get a lot of them, but they aren't that potent. So 2 level 2s there. So this fight was 69 hits in its entirety. However, we can see what happens after null throws his level 3. So here he's going to restart and use a slightly different rotation. Slightly different. And he's building up to his level 3 initially here. And then we ought to be able to see some more interesting numbers pretty much immediately. Right. Another thing we can immediately notice is that null is healing extremely well with Liquid Courage, Double Edge Masteries, and that is definitely one of the bigger upsides of the character. It's probably the biggest reason why I personally do want to get this guy eventually at some point, because I like champions who can be run with Liquid Courage, Double Edge, and net positive health from that. So that level 3, let's see how much damage it did on its own merit. That was 69k, fairly appropriate. And now that corruption is active, let's check out how many hits does Winter Soldier survive. Also, first fight basically lasted 5 bars of power, 1 level 1, 2 level 2s. Let's see how long this one lasts. I think it's pretty similar here, because we had a level 3 and a level 2, that's same 5 bars of power. There's like 12% left. So with a rank 4 null, is level 3 needed in Realm of Legend fights? No, not really. It's pretty much the same thing. Right. Another interesting thing about null is the 40% degen potency reduction. And for some nodes, 40% will definitely not quite be enough. You know, sometimes we do get some massive degens. But when it comes to Icarus, and especially that being an active degen buff, which also gives you some willpower healing, we can see that null doesn't have too much problems just, you know, staying aggressive, taking the degen damage, letting them refresh, healing from them in the process. So definitely having 40% degen resistance is quite interesting. Now, this is going to be quite interesting fight. We are using null against Realm of Legends Wolverine, but with no despair. So he has 0 points in Despair Mastery, no matter how many debuffs you would place on opponent. You know, that does not stop Wolverine's regen. Test here is to see whether null's damage is greater than the regen that Wolverine can possess. That's it. And let's see what happens. We have 90 armor breaks. You can see that level 2 should be dealing quite a lot of damage. Unfortunately, none of the hits crit. Wow. If a single one of those hits crit, he would probably have finished the fight there, but none of the level 2 hits crit. So that is another one. And now we have a short version against Labyrinth of Legends Star-Lord. So the clip starts from this level 3 here, and let's see how long it takes for him to finish it out past this point. It's not going to be long at all. Right, so we have like 90 some armor breaks here. Absolutely wonderful. He gets tagged, but it doesn't matter too much because he's going to be healing it, all of it up quite soon. And he has double corruptions active. Wonderful 99 armor breaks. 18k mediums. So Null definitely can ramp up his damage quite high. I'd say quite high. Also the fact that all of the Star-Lord's health is going to disappear in a relatively brief amount of time. He also did ask what he likes most about Null, and he said besides the healing and besides the ton of debuffs that you get to spam and power control that comes with it, said probably the best thing about using Null is that you can kind of just do whatever. You don't need to use like specific special attacks and specific order, and you're fairly free to play the fight, you know, by ear and react to the things that happen, watch the nodes up and stuff like that. So I also like champions who are relatively unrestricted to specific rotations. Like I've never enjoyed those. You need to throw special 1, special 1, special 3, then special 2, and then something happens. And if you mess up along the way, you need to start up all over kind of champions. So here we go. Null definitely has some decent numbers, which is one of the things as well that we saw from Summoner Showdown. The numbers we saw there were so much less impressive. I think they didn't do much justice to Null at all when it comes to showcasing the champion's true damage output. And that has been quite frequently the theme, at the very least for me. The same thing happened with Apocalypse and plenty of other champions. So when it comes to deep dives, should we get any more of them in future, that damage definitely, you know, can't be judged from those. I don't know what they do to make damage numbers look so bad in the deep dive videos. And deep dive videos are great for pretty much everything else, you know. They do a great job explaining what the champion does and all that. They look visually stunning. But they definitely do not do a good job conveying the actual damage output of the champions. And there is a solid level 2, and the fight is about to be over here against Star-Lord. And now I do have a clip against Iron Man Infinity War from Abyss of Legends. Unfortunately, he said he could not get in a solo, which, you know, is perfectly fine. I can't expect somebody to spend days and days trying to record a perfect clip for me. However, it is still, you know, worth showing how Null does in Abyss here at this point. And we can see that the heal was actually very, very potent here at this point. That's quite nice. Quite nice. I quite like that. Quite like that. There's a fairly juicy heal on that level too. Right, but that is going to be more or less it. I do, again, to repeat myself, actually really do want Null for myself. I think even if I just pull the 5-star, I might end up ranking him up. Because not necessarily because I think that, you know, he's the greatest thing that has ever been created, which he might be. But because I like the fact how suicide friendly he is. His prestige is quite decent, and it's definitely exciting to see more and more rank 4 champions being ranked up. Well, different rank 4 champions being ranked up. So if you are one of those people that has a rank 4 6-star already available to you, that isn't Dr. Doom and Silver Surfer, but something a bit more unseen, then I'd gladly showcase it on my channel. It's always interesting to see how these champions look when basically pushed to their max, to the highest rank of level, because there aren't many rank 4s available at all in the game for now. Right, that being said, I think this is going to be pretty much it. I hope you guys like this video. And again, if you have any more questions, feel free to ask them. But that will do for now. See you guys. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about